All right, welcome to the East County Truck Football Postgame Show for Friday, October 24th, Week 10. Dave, and we have the winners with us of the Mayor's Cup in Santee. Joining us there, we need one of the family members in the back seat to light up one of their phones and stick it in front of our guys' faces right here. We've got Jacob Romeo, who scored the touchdown tonight, Dave, and we have also Ray Garcia came up with a big fourth quarter interception that stopped Santana's last regulation. See, I got my team in the back, Dave. Look at that, Dave. It looks like
there you go.
It looks like the light show over there with the phones, with the east end of the stands, right, guys, with the baby powder and the lights going on. The Mayor's Cup tonight, Dave. 10-7 in overtime. We're going to try to get our buddy Christian Slahowski. We're not going to slight him. He won the game with a field goal from 25 yards, but these guys came up big, especially Ray and his defense tonight. Jacob found the end zone. Dave, go ahead. I'll talk about the game, but I got these guys in the car trying to get home from the game tonight. Great job, West Hill. Santana did it. Dave, I'll just say Santana also did a great job tonight. It was just as we expected, and we probably should have picked 10-7, Dave. That probably was going to be the final score.
Well, if you recall my on our show, our preview on Wednesday, I did pick West Hills to win by a field goal. So we can't bet on that. It's too bad. But anyhow, first of all, Ray, I mean, we got to talk about that pick. I mean, were you reading the quarterback's eyes? Were you just right place, right time? Or was that, did you read what the offense was, their formation? Had you seen it enough to pick it off?
Coco tipped that ball, actually. He jumped for it.
So what happened, we saw like the double pump fake, and our D lineman had good pressure. He had to force the ball out, and Don Torres tipped the ball, and I was just there. So definitely a team effort on that one.
I'm sure you were going, oh, when he tipped it, though, I'm sure you were like, oh, man, I have to get this ball now that he tipped it, especially when you guys were playing so close for so long. I mean, I'm sure you didn't plan the overtime game, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. There's a thing at practice where everyone says I have no hands because I tend to drop interceptions, but I had to lock in for that one, and I caught it, so.
Absolutely. I mean, the defense overall, you guys have been the story all season long. And what I have to ask about the offense is, why do we wait until the fourth quarter, around 5-6 minutes left? I don't know. I watched a few of the games and I kind of figured it out when you guys get ready to go and start throwing touchdown passes. Or we also know that Evan starts running all over the place, straight through the middle, to the left, to the right. I mean, bootlegs, you name it, Evan will do it, and he's not afraid either. I mean, he plays like a running back.
He definitely does.
Yeah, and Jacob, tonight, you guys struck first midway through the opening quarter. It was a methodical drive, but not just you getting that 6-yard run, but I think Anthony Russolino, right, was running real hard on that drive. And did Aiden Kidwell, right? Was it Aiden? He kind of started it off with a big run, too.
Aiden broke out our first play with a big gain, which was what we needed to keep continuing down the field.
Yeah, they scored, Dave, with 5:09 left in the first quarter. At that point, Jacob, did you think we're going to maybe run over these Sultans, or we know a little better than that in this big game?
Oh, no, I definitely had that in mind. I'm not scared to hit, and I'm putting my head down all the way. So.
Yep. Yeah. But what about the fact that we scored so quickly on them? Did you guys feel like, hey, we can take Santana?
Yeah, for sure. Our offense started out good. We're a slow burn, but we got through that first drive real smooth. So I knew our defense could keep them to 0. So I thought we would have put up more points, but we came out with the win. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I'm sure you didn't like some of the laundry that came out from the zebras, we'll call them, for sure, because some of those calls were questionable. I mean, but everybody's human. But I don't know. Sometimes this year, it seems like all the way to from the high school level to the pro level, they're coming out a little too often, and sometimes not even spotted correctly as far as the football is concerned. I'm sure that gets frustrating as well. And I'm sure Coach Ash pretty much just relax. You can't play the flags. You can't play the officiating. You can only play the Sultans, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the refs are part of the game of football too. You know, they're deciding factors, so that's just what we got to deal with.
Well, Dave, the Sultans even the score in the third quarter when Tatum Morehouse scooped up a fumble and returned it 15 yards for a touchdown tying the game. But later in the period, Santana created another opportunity when Thornton forced a fumble and a penalty on the pack, advanced the ball to the 33, but there was a missed field goal in there and the game remained tied. West Hills had a chance late in the game. They're in regulation, but the pass was tipped by Coco. Ray got it to the 35-yard line, went all the way down, and I'm going to bring in the man right now, Davey. Set up our guy for a 55-yarder. Let me bring in Christian's here, guys. There he is. All right, Christian, good job, brother. These guys, probably the whole school thanking you for the great kick, but we brought on Christian, Dave, I think, to try a 55-yarder. The camera
Oh, my God.
The camera didn't follow it, Christian, so I'll let you yell about your game-winning field goal in just a moment. How'd the 55-yarder go? Was it close?
I don't know. I mean, in a perfect world, I think if we got to do the operation again and everything went perfect, it would have gone in, but it was a little bit short.
A little bit short. But Dave, eventually, after the Wolfpack made a defensive stop in the first overtime, Wolfpack took over, made a nice drive right down, and set up Christian, Dave, for the 25-yarder from the left hash to grab that win and get the trophy. Christian, is the left hash the best for you as a left footer?
Usually I don't prefer the left hash, but I'll give whatever they give me.
Yeah, just ended up that way, Dave. And, we've talked about Chris. I think we kind of told them, be ready, right? Be ready for this game winner tonight, Dave.
Oh, I said whoever wins the turnover battle and however the special teams plays, that probably will determine who's going to win the game. And well, it pretty much did come down to that. And it didn't let you down or affect your kick, obviously, at all after you missed that 55. I mean, that was asking a lot anyway. So if you would have made it, I'm sure you all would have been going crazy anyway. But then they get a chip shot, 25. You got that close enough for it, and you got a chip shot for 25 yards, and you knew that one was true. We saw it; it was true, and game over. And this is you guys have pretty much owned that trophy for quite a few years, on and off. They've only had Ramona, about 6 times. If that.
Yeah, 9-2 the last 11 years. Ray, did you guys celebrate for the TV cameras holding that trophy at the end of the game, jumping up and down?
Oh yeah, definitely. We were all hyped, and it's just a blessing to hold that trophy and keeping it here, keeping the tradition going. And I'm just very proud of my guys and how we performed today.
And Jacob, how about the 6-yard touchdown run to the left corner of the end zone to put you guys up 7-0 to start the game?
Yeah, that was a great play call, and sometimes when I'm just like right there by the one, I just put my head down, hope for the best, and turned out. So.
Well, you like to run people over. I've noticed that in quite a few of the games that I've watched in entirety. But I'm sure you're sore after running everybody over too. I'm sure that a nice ice bath would definitely cure that for a while. But you guys, I mean, you did a great job. And now, hey, look, now what Ramon was telling me, you guys got a chance. Monte Vista loses to Grossmont. You guys can tie if you beat the Braves. And I'm sure you're very confident, but don't be too confident, because that's when you get bit. But you win that game, Grossmont wins, you tie for the Valley title. Did you see something like this coming?
No, I did not. Honestly, I thought we
Monta
were just
Vista
gonna win it
won. It was,
from the start.
yeah, it was 35-11. Monta Vista got the win over Valhalla there tonight in that other game, and of course with Grossmont, they did beat the Braves pretty
Oh,
handily. 60-14, so it'll be up to Monta Vista. I think it's just I'm saying Monta Vista score because that has to. We know how good Monta Vista can be, and they maybe can upset Grossmont. It'll be tough. Grossmont's had a great year, so these guys need to go in and beat the Braves in order to get a chance to at least share. It's out of their hands, but they still have to win. Ray, when you got Christian coming on the field for the 25-yarder, you guys got to feel like you got the game won right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm very confident with Christian. He's a really good kicker. Like all day at practice, he's always practicing, working on his on the little details, and he gets it done every time. I'm always confident when he goes out there, and there wasn't a doubt in my mind that he was going to make that field goal.
And Christian, we're going into this game, man. I don't know if 10-7. Like I said, I said it'd be around 20-17, 17-14, right about there. Anything when you go into a game like this, when you know what, it looks like it was going to be pretty close, no matter what. Does the coach come up to you and say, "This might be your week, brother. We know you've had some great kicks already this season, but be ready for this one, man. This might be the one."
Yeah, actually, once we were going into I think it was the second half, I had one or two coaches come up to me and tell me that it was going to come down to me, and ultimately it did.
no pressure, right?
Yeah, I guess not.
No, hey, Christian, for a good reason. He's I think the first maybe multiple time guest here this season because of the great job he's done with the Boots. Ray, as we kind of talked about with the defensive way that this game was going to be, you guys had to figure that this was going to be knocked down, drag out all the way with these guys, right?
Oh yeah,
not going to be a
definitely.
shootout.
No, definitely not. We obviously know they had some good players over there. We had the right game plan. Give props to our coach for that. And everyone, they did their job. They all did what they're supposed to do, trusted each other, and ultimately that's all it took.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the team as a whole. I mean, yeah, special teams pretty much they won the deal, but everybody, all three phases of the game, pretty much did their jobs, and I'm sure that's exactly what Coach Ash said to you guys or something to that. I know that he definitely. My son played for him for 1 year, and he said he's one of the toughest coaches to play for. However, he can also he can get you to win the game. He has a very good game plan towards any of your foes, whether it be league or non-league. But you guys had it tonight, and now look at that. Now, if you tie, I mean that's better than not winning a league championship at all. I'm sure you guys hadn't even thought about the math on that.
No, to be honest, we haven't really paid much of a thought. Just focus on the next game, doing our job, and just whatever the outcome is, that's what it is, and we can't do much about it.
No, tonight was more about keeping that cup over there at West Hills. I think Christian, were you the post game interview there, the instant interview on the field?
Yeah, I got pulled over after we had the little trophy ceremony.
Yeah, and for you to share that moment with all your teammates, what's it like, man? I've never kicked a game-winning field goal where everybody's running out to me and celebrating me. I know you got a lot of heroes. You got two of them on the side here. I'm sure they were just as important in the game. But what's it like when everybody's rushing you, man, and you've just basically done it?
It's really great, man. Even today, we had a ton of senior activities since it was senior night, and it really just made me realize how much of a community football is and how many great opportunities that I've had to make friends and just go out there and have fun.
Yeah, and you look at the record. I mean, you guys already knew that. Throw the records out because every time Santana and West Hills meet, it doesn't matter if one of you is undefeated or one team hasn't even won a game or only won 2 games. You guys are always out there and pretty close. I mean, there's been a couple of blowouts. I believe last year was one of those in your favor, but this one was it was more entertaining to watch, actually, to watch all three phases and watching you guys win it in the trenches, if you will.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And Ray and Jacob also as the seniors on this team. Man, that 0-5 is in the rearview mirror now. We can still win this big game and end up with another victory here. And then, you know what? Playoffs abound, man. We're going to be in a good division with a lot of momentum, huh?
Yeah, we're trying to break the West Hills history and be the past second round playoffs. So that's the run.
No, I'm with you. I've been to some of those games. I can remember guys going to Scripps Ranch about 4 or 5 years ago, it seemed like. And, man, we were played, you know, just great like we always do. Imagine it's good where Scripps Ranch is now. And, man, we should have beat them on that night on the road. So these guys can win more than one playoff game, Dave, considering where they're going to end up, I think, in the postseason division. So go ahead, Dave. We'll say goodbye to these guys. I want to go with wherever they're going tonight. Maybe we're heading down to remember Chili's or maybe to Chick-fil-A. Did you guys have a fundraiser? Did you guys do a fundraiser with Santana?
Yeah.
Did they have a winner of that, or did we? Everybody just happy?
West Hills won that competition against him.
Okay, Dave.
It's either 2-0. Look at that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys are getting ready to head over somewhere and get some grub. I mean, we might even go on to Santana's side, maybe some round table if they're still open, but you're definitely going to go grab some grub. Great job on the win today. Not just the cup, but now you have one more game, and if all the cards fall into place, you might be winning the division or the league rather. So big things are happening for the Wolfpack.
Yes.
Great job, guys. And thanks to the friends in the back seat for getting these guys to get me.
There you go.
All right, Dave. Great job.
All right, we appreciate you guys, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Maybe after you beat the Braves, or maybe after a playoff win or two.
Oh yeah, perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations, Christian. Great job, Ray, Jacob.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Adios.
Great job. Go get some grub.
Bye, you guys.
Good
See you
night.
guys.
All right, Dave. The
Drive safe.
The Wolfpack tonight wasn't that amazing. You know, we take it for granted. You know, you and I, we got our little lights and everything, and we want to. And they just, you know, the kids just go on there. But the ladies came through in the back there with the. So, Dave. So just to clean that one up here a little bit, I think we described the game in pretty good detail there tonight. With that win, but important, like you said, Dave. Now West Hills 3-6, 3-1 in the Grossmont Valley League. Grossmont did win tonight, so they are 4-0 in the Grossmont Valley League. But still, we'll have to beat Monte Vista, who did win tonight at home. If Monte Vista goes in there, and they certainly can, they look good tonight against Valhalla. They could, Grossmont better be ready. They could finish 4-1 also, and that would share the league championship. So, yeah, Dave, that was a great stop. Santana, they did have that ball. They threw it to Coco, and he jumped up, Dave. Coco jumped. The ball was a little high, and then it was picked off. It was funny that they set up the 55-yarder. I was like, oh, my gosh, is the camera going to follow it? And I didn't want to put our man on the spot there. I think he was saying maybe got the perfect boot, maybe he would have had it, but 55 yards. But hey, you know what? It was almost, other than getting it blocked and run in for a touchdown, it's kind of a free roll a little bit when you got a kicker like that. We already know he's made a long one here this year. So we know it probably is within his range, but don't give a lot of credit here to Santana here as well, Dave. Like I said, I mentioned a few of their highlights too, a run from Cocoa into West Hills territory. But you know what? It was the big defensive lineman, Cameron Kirkpatrick. We should have asked Ray about Big Cam. He made a big sack in there. He's hard to miss, Dave, on the field. I'm sure you recognize Big 76 there, wrecking things.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it earlier in the show on Wednesday, and we talked about it last week actually as well. And I knew exactly who you were talking about as I saw him even jogging off the field. Boy, that's a big boy, and you know what it reminds me of is Gilbert Brown years back that played for the Green Bay Packers. Hey, you never know. He could be that guy that ends up being on a line like that, whether it be the defensive side or the offensive side. He's pretty big fella, man around boys, as they say. But yes, I tried to get a hold of Coach Estes. He pretty much just gave me the score. I think this one stung a little bit for the Sultans. I think they were pretty sure that they were going to win this one, and after the wins that they'd had earlier in the season, it kind of made me wonder though, as they, I think it was Valhalla, they played pretty close, and going into this game, I don't know. There was just something about West Hills the last game that they played, and that's what they did again. Fourth quarter, I have it down. West Hills. I don't know what it is, but that last couple of minutes, that's when they start really. It's like they got a interior clock where we got to get going. We got to score, and we're gonna win this thing. Just like in overtime, Dill was picking up yards. He picked up those final 6 or 7 yards, and Romeo, same thing. I mean, they just had the people to do it. I think they got the bigger guys to break up that defense. As with Santana, they don't have the same size that they have over at West Hills, and I think that's what it came down to as well. Because don't get me wrong, Santana's defense played fantastic, but the coverage, even in the secondary, was I think it was giving a lot of trouble to Ethan Miller. Not to mention, he was under duress pretty much the whole game. I mean, he had to leave the pocket almost immediately.
Yeah, and you mentioned also some of those. You mentioned Dill it was Morehouse that actually scooped up a fumble from Evan Dill, and you said returned it for 15 yards for a touchdown, and that tied the game at 7. I think you said in the third quarter, and later in the period, Santana created another opportunity when Thornton forced a fumble, and it was recovered by Sean Gardenera. A penalty on West Hills advanced the a ball to the Wolfpack 39. Santana actually tried a field goal. We should have asked. I know there were some punts in the game, Dave. I was kind of, kidding about saying, hey, would it be a game of the punters? What did you think? You obviously it was a battle of field position. I'm sorry, now I didn't ask Christian too much about it. Was it, back and forth with the punts? I know you were focused on that game.
Well, Santana, for instance, in the third 45-yard punt, and then for West Hills, and then a 47-yard punt for Santana. We can go in here again. I did keep track of that for a change because I was like, let's see what we have here.
That's all you had to keep track of without any scoring.
Yep, and then again, when the Wolfpack had the ball and they had to punt, 32-yard punt. Well, guess what? When Santana had to punt, another 37-yard punt. So, it pretty much, they were tit for tat. I mean, they were almost exactly the same. Santana, another 33-yard punt, two 33-yard. and then a 43-yard punt from West Hills. I mean, they were almost identical as we had spoke about earlier in the week. Not to mention, you mentioned Morehouse in the Fearless Forecaster that he was going to be also a big part of this game for Santana.
Yeah, and he also, like I said, he came through also there with that defensive play. So, all right, Dave, that was a great job, and can't wait to see Christian and those guys celebrate with that trophy, the 10-7 win. You asked about Wolfpack have won 9 of the last 11 meetings. Sultans dropped to 3-6 overall, 1-3 in the Grossmont Valley League. So we're going to keep it going here. Maybe get that update on the Grossmont Valley League right now. You see the score there. Grossmont with the win over El Cajon Valley here, Dave. 60-14. They continued their dominant run through the Valley League on Friday night as Tyler Holmes again led the charge, accounting for 3 first half touchdowns, 2 through the air and 1 on the ground, as the Foothillers led 53-7 at halftime to keep their they clinched at least a share of the Grossmont Valley League title with the win tonight. Holmes connected with Dallin McKay on an 8-yard touchdown to give him a 12-0 lead. Then Holmes found Kenny Krause for a 30-yard strike to make it 22-0. Dave, El Cajon Valley quickly got some momentum on a kickoff return for a touchdown, but Gage Weichelt returned the ensuing kickoff 90 yards for a touchdown and make it 30-7. They continued to pour it on, Dave, when Holmes broke 3 for that 25-yard scoring run. Then guess what? Colton Burke had a defensive touchdown, a 25-yard interception return for Colton tonight.
And what did he say last week? He said, "I'm going to keep doing this." He said I don't think he was settling for one, and that was his big thing. And he talked about it before the first snap was even taken by the opposing team. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 2 more next week.
Let's go, Colton, man. That's awesome.
Coach Simon I did ask him if there was anybody that he wanted to give credit to, even in the loss. He only had a couple of things to say. He just said they have a lights out offense, that tempo they play is hard to handle, and that they will be a playoff team that is hard to handle moving on. So he gives them big credit. I mean, that is the story of the Hillers, but I think what people tend to forget, they score a lot of points, but they also shut people down on the other side that are trying to score. So this year they have both. They have a fantastic defense. You just mentioned it right there. And I remember Burke last week was talking about how much happier he is when defenses are scoring, and not just his team, but he thinks it's a bigger deal when the defense scores the points as opposed to the offense.
Did Coach send any names at all?
He did not. I did ask him for him. I don't know if he probably. I mean, it's a big difference, and some of the coaches I'm sure are like, I just want to put this one to bed. And
no problem. Here, Jonah Martinez had an 80-yard return for a touchdown for Grossmont, as El Cajon Valley added one more late rushing touchdown that ended up being basically accounting for the final score. So Grossmont remains unbeaten in league play and continues towards its best season since 2016 when they finished 9-2. So a good job there as Grossmont clinches their share of the Grossmont Valley League title. Okay. Let me get the other important Valley League score in here. Like I said, I mentioned it to the guys because this shows that here Monte Vista wins, Dave, 35-11. They used a dominant first half performance to get past Valhalla. They jumped out to a 21-0 lead at halftime and never looked back. They took control early when Deion Hunter powered in from 6 yards out late in the first quarter for the game's first score. And in the second quarter, Derek Taylor connected with Rashawn Florence for an 8-yard touchdown and then added a quarterback sneak, did Taylor, for a 21-0 lead with 4:36 left in the first half. Valhalla had an opportunity early to take the lead after Newman completed passes to Lorenzo Matos and Brody Chartel to move the Norsemen deep into Monte Vista territory, but the drive stalled and they missed a field goal attempt. The Norsemen did get on the board in the fourth quarter when Anderson Turner, Dave, a 49-yard field goal. The kickers are really heating up here late in the season, but Monte Vista answered immediately when Deshaun Jenkins broke loose on a 73-yard reverse down the right sideline for a 28-3 lead. Then the defense came through. Juan Duran had his second big play of the game. He recovered a fumble, returned it to the 6-yard line, and Gio Lopez ran in from a yard out to make it 35-3. Valhalla added a late touchdown when Newman hit Matos for a 13-yard score with 5:46 left. Marcus Martinez caught the 2-point conversion. So Monte Vista will close next week, Dave, at Grossmont. Valhalla will host Santana, should mention that in the other Grossmont Valley League game. But those two games that I just mentioned, Dave, obviously, West Hills at the Braves and Grossmont there against Monte Vista. Grossmont has a share of the title, but they need to win over Monte Vista for an outright title.
But all of a sudden, here come the Wolfpack. I mean, we never saw this coming. Well, I won't say we never saw this coming. We didn't see this coming 2 weeks ago. That's for sure. What I was going to ask about
Yes.
is, you remember Paige Culver said, and we got to look out for. I think it was Paige that said he was looking out for number 3. And then I sent it to you yesterday. There was something that goes with what you were talking about. And I was trying to figure out what he was talking about. He said, when it come down to, he said, he thought I was right about the game and how it was going to happen and what was going to take place. And what it's going to come down to is who can keep the ball and not turn it over and create turnovers. You know what I think? Who is as Zach Taylor. I can almost I'll bet you money on there. Or who do you think? He said who, and he didn't give the names. It was kind of neat because I didn't ask him who it was. I wanted to try and figure it out. You think it was Jack Taylor? Don't turn the ball over. And he's a pretty fast runner, and he gets quite a few carries himself. I think it was Zach Taylor personally, but the only way I'm going to find that out is to ask him outright. But great job by the Monte Vista Monarchs. Getting a big win and getting in the end zone a lot more often than they have in the last couple of weeks.
Yep, and they have a chance to play a little bit of spoiler. And Dave, it was an important win because you were asking me about where Monte Vista stands, and they really were right on the cusp of the playoffs this week. But really, if they just win both games, and tonight's win might have actually done it. Well, they can't lose next. They like I said, they are underdogs in that game against Grossmont, but I think this will do it for them, and they won't have to sweat it out. I hope like they did last season.
So they own basically their own destiny is what they control.
I don't know because I don't think they're going to be able. They're going to be underdogs next week against Grossmont.
Right.
So but Grossmont is rated ahead of them. So I think this win may have done it. Valhalla is behind Monte Vista in the ratings, but from what I was checking on, Monte Vista was right on the cusp a little bit going into this week. So I'm just hoping it is enough right now, and I think they will make it. It feels like they're just a little bit better off than they were last season in those current rankings.
All right.
Okay, let's go over to the Hills League real quick right now. And Let me go to the Helix game first. This one was kind of a wild one. I'm still trying to get some information about Granite Hills tonight. That one was a bizarre game that I'm still trying to figure out here. Helix tonight wins and keeps the form together. This was an important win for Helix because Steel Canyon had such an incredible season so far. Helix had been down a little bit. It looks like Helix was given a forfeit victory this week for their game one loss at El Camino. It was a reverse to a forfeit victory. I don't know the details of it. It's just something I saw on Max Preps. I really haven't heard about it at all. So it will improve Helix to 4-6 with tonight's win as the Highlanders shook off the frustrating season and pulled off probably their most inspiring performance of the season, holding off a furious Steel Canyon rally to win a wild 39-34 Grossmont Hills League contest on Friday night here, Dave, as the Highlanders came out pretty quickly out of the gates here with Norman Lester. He set the tone early, connected with Jeremy Davis for an 11-yard touchdown strike in the opening quarter. Norman Lester then later added a rushing touchdown, and Jordan Lindley powered in from short range, and Helix led 18-7 at intermission. Steel Canyon, which entered the night still alive for a share of the league title if they won this game and could upset Granite Hills next week, kind of was slow to start before Gavin Saha found Nico Yara for a scoring pass late in the second quarter. The Cougars regrouped at halftime and mounted a strong comeback effort behind a balanced attack. Helix did extend its advantage to 25-7 on a third quarter rushing score from Dante Wright, but Steel Canyon quickly countered with a pair of touchdowns, including a rushing score from Marcus Hunt to pull to within 25-20 heading into the fourth. The Highlanders answered again with Wright breaking loose for his second touchdown of the night, and Lindley added another to make it 39-20 midway through the fourth quarter. But Steel Canyon refused to fold as Saha engineered two late scoring drives, hitting Jacob Hinton and Josiah Stalker for touchdowns to close the gap to 39-34 with about 2 minutes to play. Helix, however, I think they held possession the rest of the way to secure the upset. There was a turnover. We were just coming on the air with the Wolfpack together, Dave, and I was trying to keep an eye on it. I hope I didn't screw up the interview too bad there. The Highlanders offense, though, came alive tonight with 39 points against a tough West Hills Steel Canyon defense, Dave, that you had pointed out had allowed minimal points this season.
Yeah, and I want to say you did pick your Highlanders. I did pick Steel Canyon. I thought them being at home and just, I don't know. I just didn't think after watching Helix play last week that they would be able to take Steel Canyon. Not to mention, I didn't see Steel Canyon losing 2 in a row. It seems that maybe the Hills League teams are a little tough for them as opposed to the teams that they were playing, the non-league games, of course. They did really well, and having to face Granite Hills after Helix has beaten them, that's a tall task. I think looking at this, El Capitan might even have a shot.
Yeah, Helix, this is a big confidence booster for them, and Steel Canyon's still going to have a playoff run too. These two teams, I don't know where they're going to end up, but they might end up if Steel Canyon's fallen out of the Division One category here. We'll see what happens next week because they're going to be underdogs, obviously, against the Eagles. Maybe Steel Canyon and Helix could meet in a playoff game. I don't know down the line here, maybe in Division One, because Steel Canyon certainly has a great season there. But Norman Lester threw that jump pass early on for a touchdown from about 11 yards out for the first score of the game, and Helix went on for that win, 39-34. Also, Dave, so I know you're watching your Eagles here a little bit tonight. I don't have a lot of. I watched the game, but I was having trouble with the white. I love the uniforms, but I was having some trouble with the white numbers blue uniforms, actually. So I can tell you a little bit about the game here. If you want to go first, tell me what you know. The Eagles did. It took a long time for the Eagles to get going tonight. They were playing a lot of guys who deserve to get in there, Dave, and play tonight. I will say that it wasn't like a full first team out there. A lot of Eagles saw the field tonight. It just kind of took a while to get rolling here.
Well, the thing was is due to something that happened on NFHS, which I was actually a little perturbed since you're paying for the service. It didn't come on until when I was watching the West Hills and Santana until there was the second quarter was halfway through. So what I did instead is I got to at least see the kickoff going into this and then starting the second quarter for Granite. And then I pretty much my focus had shifted. But just to start the game, El Cap was pretty much a 3 and out for the most part, but right away, just like they've done in the other games, Granite Hills had Spalding carrying the ball first, no gain, I should say. Benitez threw one incomplete. Benitez incomplete. Turning over on. I mean, the throws. It almost looks like I don't know if he was trying to throw it away and there happened to be a receiver right there, because you know how sometimes even the Granite Hills guy that does his camera, sometimes it's not right there, but it just seemed like he didn't have the air under it. Benitez, that is, when you first started the game. I mean, he was missing his receivers by quite a bit. A lot of running early on for El Cap. Castillo, a 2-yard run here. And then El Cap's Depanisi, incomplete. Try to sneak it, no gain. Castillo, a 1-yard run. And then another incomplete pass and punt. Same thing for Granite Hills. They pretty much went with the 3 and out, and they got a couple of throws. I believe it was to, I want to say it was number 8 for Grant. I think it was, and he gained probably about 20 yards and 2 passes from Benitez in the first quarter. And then Depanisi, he didn't really do.
Diaz, number 8, Tristan Diaz.
Yes, Diaz. See, and I couldn't tell. I was that.
No,
Is that
yeah.
Is it 18? Is it 8? So,
you mentioned the return, right? Rodriguez. I'm sure Rodriguez had at least one, if not 2. I don't know if he had 3. 86 and 88. Look, the numbers, I couldn't really tell, Dave, who was scoring the time. Apologize, man, but it just took a while for Granite Hills to get rolling tonight. El Capitan did a great job. This was such a bizarre game, Dave. Granite Hills had 2 unsportsmanlike conducts before the game even started and had to kick off from the 12-yard line. They later, after Granite Hills scored a pretty obvious touchdown that was ruled out of bounds, a coach got ejected from the game in this one and really set the fans off a little bit too. They're not the Eagles fans are not the most. They're great fans. They are great fans. They're not maybe not the most knowledgeable fans, but. Just some bizarre, and El Cap was hanging with these guys totally early on in the game, but Benitez did make multiple touchdown passes and several big plays at United. I know he hit Rodriguez on a key 22-yard score late in the second quarter that made it finally 7-0. Pretty sure that was Rodriguez in his first game there tonight.
I want to say that it was 7-0 at the half, so most of their points came in the second half, as I was looking out of the corner of my eye. And the thing was, I looked over and I said, are they ejecting 2 coaches? because I saw two
Me
people
too.
with headsets, and that's why I said, Cobbs, can you tell me at least it? And I said, I'm glad it wasn't you. Can you imagine a head coach getting ejected? That
Well,
would have been
with two penalties, I don't know what happened before the game. I was watching. I don't know if it was something before, if there was some taunting, some maybe some midfield taunting or whatever. It shouldn't be something the Eagles are worried about. They're worried about the wrong thing if they're worried about the El Capitan Vaqueros. With all due respect, El Capitan, we featured them on some of their great wins, but they're not expected to compete. And the fact that it was 7-0 at halftime, credit to El Capitan. I have big concerns. Now, like I said, Granite Hill's got a lot of guys in there tonight who deserve to play. They worked very hard in practice this season, and they, had plenty of guys in uniform in there. Maybe that was part of it. I think some guys had some numbers I didn't recognize there a little bit. Benitez, Dave, so it was 7-0 at halftime. You're right. El Capitan struck first in the second half with momentum shifting play, it looked like, because they had played so well. I think it was Logan Dulea who forced a fumble on a short pass and returned it 22 yards for a touchdown, cutting the lead to 7-6. But Granite Hills responded quickly. They returned the ensuing kickoff 72 yards for a touchdown. I didn't see who it was, but it made it 14-6 with 10:40 to go in the third quarter. Then Benitez added a 60-yard touchdown pass on the next possession to make it 21-6, and then a rushing touchdown shortly thereafter. A 10-yard score extended the lead to 28-6. There in that one, Dave, again, that just couldn't get the numbers. I do know that later on there was another punt return for a touchdown of 60 yards. That could have been Isaiah Rodriguez. I'm not sure, but I do know that Rocket Demery caught a 7-yard scoring strike to finish off the scoring at 42-7. But it was just a bizarre night overall with penalties on both sides. It really wasn't a good display of high school football.
well. When the coach was ejected, this was more like the I'm going to say either mid to end of first quarter. For it looked like two, but I guess it was one coach that was ejected, and it was over that touchdown. And you know what? From what I could see, the cameras they just don't go where they need to go in those key plays. But I mean, I just don't see. I mean, that many fans are wrong that it was a touch. I mean, right away touchdown. They knew it was a touchdown.
This is an obvious touchdown for sure. I mean, I see, you're upset and whatever happened beginning of the game with more penalties, you just got to shake it off. You should be able to win this game, and they did indeed win 42-6. So it showed in the end they were much more dominant than El Capitan. It just took so long to get rolling. Like I said, there were some other guys out there tonight playing some football. So it was a good job by Granite Hills to remain certainly one of the hottest teams in the county tonight. And there were some big results. Go ahead, Dave. I'm going to give you these scores from the other big games here.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I'm hoping that Kellen gives me the scoring summary, but
help, Eagles, help. I know Isaiah Rodriguez was in there, but again, and I think my roster is a little outdated too, so not sure who scored for that.
He did ask which game you were focused in on, and I said usually it's yours, sir. But I said unfortunately I was in for the Clash of Santee and the Mayor's Cup, and he actually did ask who won Santana.
It's on me. I can't read the white numbers on the blue. You told me to watch Granite Hills tonight, and I just can't. I'm too old, Dave.
Well, I had the same problem. Like I said, did not seeing Tristan Diaz and seeing maybe there's an imaginary one. I don't know, but they are beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Uniforms.
They are beautiful.
So he did ask. He said, "Well, who won?" I said, "West Hills." He said, "Yeah, it was an ugly first half. We just didn't execute." And I mean, that sums it up, really. Had a bunch of interesting calls, is how he put it. And I think that touchdown is probably one of the main ones he's referring
Do
to.
you think that because the Eagles, they continue to get jobbed by the referees week after week, but do you think it's because maybe the I don't want to say they're tired of it. I'm sure every team complains, but okay.
Well, no. I wanted you to bring. If you weren't going to bring it up, I was. It's almost.
Mr. Xander, we don't blame Mr. Xander. We don't blame you. We don't blame him, Davey. We love him. We love the feed. It's a beautiful camera. It's beautiful camera.
It was, and the uniforms were hard, and the lady that walked through and the other person, no big deal. But you do great work, and I sent you a couple of texts like I try to do before the game gets started. But we really appreciate you. What I was going to say though, he said interesting calls, and what I'm getting at is, it almost seems like it's a vendetta for some reason. I don't know if it's like you remember how Philip Rivers and Jay Cutler at first, they would just go at it, and Rivers was known for always complaining about some of the calls, and I don't know if that's why they're going after them and they're just tired of it, like you said.
The coaches must be steamed. I mean, they have to feel like every week the officials, and this was basically a home. Well, not a home. It was in Lakeside, but I mean, it wasn't like we were in the North County or anything.
And you watch the complete game. There are legitimate complaints. These are legitimate. Like, why do you spot the ball 2 yards back, or why are you throwing that flag? Why are you saying it's not a touchdown? Finally, like he said, and I'm sure that's what he did at halftime, finally focused them up, and they played well in the second half. But again, he said one coach did get injected. I'm sure that the ref was probably tired of it, but I think at the same time the coach was tired of it, probably because of the continuation all season, and he probably said something he really shouldn't have. Maybe an F-bomb, I don't know, but maybe something personal, and then it was just, you're gone. Oh, and he says, oh, and and they did. They kept telling him, go back, push back, coach, keep them back. And it's like, those sidelines are not that big at El Capitan either. I know that. You know that.
Okay, Granite Hills with the win tonight, and they're 6-3. They'll host Steel Canyon next week, and right now, 3-0 record here right now for Granite Hills. So great job for the Eagles there as they improve to 3-0 here. Helix is 2-2, Steel Canyon's 1-2 now, and El Capitan's 0-3. Granite Hills wins the championship.
Let me ask you this real quick though.
Well, I'll just have to clean it up, Dave, with a story because I just don't have the touchdown.
No.
Tonight.
Let me ask you this: is this the game of the week next week?
I don't think so. I mean, Granite Hills has clinched the championship, and I think with Grossmont playing Monta Vista, trying to clinch an outright championship, to me seems like the big game to me with the East County.
I was just thinking because of the way, how Steel Canyon and Granite Hills play them so close, and it's usually a pretty entertaining game, and there's usually no bench talking, none of that stuff. So I think it'd be a great game if you're in the area. Definitely a game you want to catch. But my Eagles are heading for another championship. I don't think they'll have any problem with that. And my last question was, Ramon, do you think there is an outside chance of an open division, or there just has to be a whole?
I'll tell you about that right now. I've just seen the scores here tonight, and of course, we can't forget about where the Matadors stand. It's just that they host next week. El Capitan, and the Matadors should win that game, and the Eagles do need to win, but they've clinched that share of the title here right now, and that's just where it stands. So I guess you could say it still will be a chance. I don't want to. I'm not saying the Eagles are just doing so good, that they
Oh, no.
championship. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. No, it is still an important game, no doubt about it. Can't forget about the Matadors. They had the bye this week. Also, it was a big upset tonight. This is not what the Eagles, I don't think this is what the Eagles wanted. Cathedral Catholic defeats Lincoln. It does help the Eagles rating, I think, but Cathedral Catholic upset Lincoln 42-33. So that's going to lift Cathedral closer to Lincoln. It kind of assures Cathedral a possible top 4 finish, I believe, right now with that big victory. Also, it was La Costa Canyon with a big win tonight as well. Mission Hills did win as well, so they're going to be locked into the top 4 despite all the drama that they're going through this season right now. And La Costa Canyon upset Carlsbad, so they're probably going to shift in. Now it's going to probably be Lincoln, Cathedral Catholic, La Costa Canyon, and Mission Hills. I don't think that Granite Hills has a formula to get into the Open.
Okay. My question on the win tonight by Cathedral Catholic: did Palmer start the game and finish the game? Because I know he's been out for a couple of games.
Yeah, he had missed some time here for sure. I'm just waiting for the highlights here right now, actually, Dave.
Okay.
It's just starting here, so just don't have the other details other than the scoring here right now. Let me wrap up the other games here real quick, and we'll get out of here for tonight. It was Point Loma shutting out Christian here, 21-0. Dave, as Christian faced red hot Point Loma here at Granite Hills High, and a matchup that kind of underscored the Pointers' historic season in 20. I think it was 20. What do I have on the screen there? 24-0. I think it was 24-0. Dave, let me fix that there, and I'll tell you a little bit about the game. I don't really have that much on since we went down to defeat. Yeah, we went down to defeat in this one. So Pointers opened the scoring first, taking a 7-0 lead that would set the tone for the rest of the night. In this one, they extended their advantage to 17-0 in the second quarter with a passing touchdown and a field goal. And that was pretty much. I don't really have much else on the game, Dave, tonight. Christian goes down to defeat, and Point Loma. I have number 5. They're going to end up on the outside of the Open Division. I'm pretty sure they'll end up one of the top seeds in Division 1 next week. They're actually number 9 in the rankings, so they might not even. Maybe they'll get a bye.
Oh, I was going to ask if maybe even they might be paired up with Granite, but
you're going to see Point Loma in there. You're going to see Granite in there as well in Division 1 now. You might get Helix and Steel Canyon both in Division 1. You might see Grossmont sneak into Division 1. Wouldn't that be interesting here? I don't think right now they're quite up there, but if they can win out here, I don't want to get too cocky here on that, but if not, they'll be one of the best teams in Division 2 and be a definite contender to win a title there. I don't think they're going to make Division 1. Actually, I think Grossmont is pretty much sealed for Division 2. Okay,
and I want to say one more thing to the Vaqueros. Hey, you know what? You did get beat by the Eagles by quite a bit. But I got to say, hats off to Sean McDade as a defensive coordinator and his defensive unit. They played outstanding half of football. I'm sure they just got worn out. But definitely a shout out to Sean McDade and his defense. They played phenomenally.
Had some sacks in there, some tackles for loss as well on the Eagles tonight. So El Capitan, another strong playoff contender coming up, probably I think in Division Two as well. I think they're pretty close there. Okay, a couple more I'm going to read off to you, Dave, and then that'll probably do it for the show. But we got victories tonight. You know, after a humbling defeat last week here. A humbling defeat last week against Maranatha Christian. Mountain Empire showed their resilience with a 30-22 victory over Rock Academy at I believe it was in Pine Valley. It wasn't pretty, but the Red Hawks got back to their roots using a physical running game and timely defense. Elisha LaShawn Robinson, one of the top rushers in the county, found the end zone on the ground, while Amar Mahashan and Chance Ross each added a rushing touchdown as Mountain Empire controlled the tempo for much of the night. In the fourth quarter, with Rock kind of loading the box a little bit, Chance Ross went to the air and delivered a pass to Michael Noble for a 50-yard touchdown, stretching the Red Hawks lead. Mountain Empire then sealed the win with a late stop there in the fourth quarter, shutting down the Rocks' hopes. Coach Cameron Keller said another sloppy game, but we pulled away with a win. We were able to run the ball with no problems, and when they sold out to stop it, we made the big play we needed. So after last week's 41-0 loss to Maranatha, Red Hawks got what they wanted to see and looked to lock up good positioning in the 5 AA playoffs. All right, and one more, Dave. It was billed as a matchup between, well, the two bottom teams in the entire county, but Foothills gets the win here. Yes, they earned their first win of the season with a dominant effort over Tri-City Christian in a big way, rolling to their first win of the season. After coming close there in a few games, they had a strong showing against O'Farrell last week. The Knights finally put it all together behind a relentless rushing attack and balanced offense behind Joshua Hawkins, Mason Wilborn, and Jack Sudi. Foothills wasted no time. Hawkins opened the scoring just a minute into the contest with a rushing touchdown. The defense held firm through the first quarter, keeping TCC scoreless. In the second quarter, the Knights doubled the advantage when Wilborn connected with Hawkins on a touchdown pass, then added a 2-point conversion for a 14-0 lead. TCC got a touchdown, but back came Foothills. Hawkins scored again on a rushing touchdown, and Wilburn rooted it through for 21-7 as Hawkins accounted for 3 touchdowns in the first half alone. The Knights stayed aggressive. Sudi extended the lead in the third quarter, the rushing touchdown, making it 28-7. And later, Hawkins found the end zone for a fourth time, pushing the lead to 35-7. Entering the fourth quarter, TCC had one score midway through the fourth, but Foothills capped off its best offensive showing as Sudi had another rushing score to make it 42-13. The win ended the losing streak for Foothills Christian as they picked up that league win there. We knew they would do it to close out the season.
Well, the last thing I got to say is actually is it a possibility that Christian is going to, being Christian Unified Patriots, are going to have a chance to move down, or are they going to be moved down, or do they stay in for another year? Because it so far it seems like it's a little tougher, almost too tough this year.
Well, we know this. Christian's, still going to the postseason, that's for sure. And they'll probably be able to meet up with, they could end up there a little bit with Grossmont. They could end up in Division Two. I think it's going to be close there, but it's going to be close for Christian. They could be a low seed in Division Two, or maybe a high seed in Division Three. I think that's what we'll see there in the postseason. So good job, Dave. Great job by the West Hills Wolfpack tonight.
Keeping the cup, they're making a run, and boy, next week is going to be an exciting week to get ready to end the regular season and see who's going to be playing who and all that good stuff the next morning. But let's not forget, let's thank Granite Mortgage, Lakeside Equipment, and Touchdown Plumbing. Boy, Granite sure had plenty of those. And thank Ramon for getting this together too tonight. Got great production. And I want to thank the West Hills players for coming on and sharing their view of the big win, 10-7 in overtime. And especially you guys make us, as our fans watching the show, continue to spread the word. We do appreciate it because we love doing the show for you. So for Ramon Scott, I'm Dave Dickens. Have a great rest of the weekend. I'm sure there's plenty of sports for you to watch.
So long, everybody.